Hi, everybody. We're doing Q10, which is multiplying functions. I am assuming that they're not going to give us a lot of multiplying of polynomials, but we'll see. I took a look at one of them and it looked pretty straightforward, so we'll take a look and see. Yep, we're going to multiply two functions together. So f times g of x. Notice that this is a very different thing from f of g of x. So just to mention, this is something very, very different. This in f of g of x, we're literally taking g of x and putting it into f of x. And we did that in one of the other, this is called a composite function. And we actually did that in one of the other sections. I think it was F9, or Q9 rather, or Q8. Anyway, we're not doing that, Q8. But we're not doing that. What we are doing is we're just multiplying these together. We're taking f of x times g of x, that's all. Now the trick is to make sure that if it has two terms, we have to multiply both terms. So I'm taking negative 3x squared, that's my monomial, and I'm going to multiply that by negative 4x plus 4. And it's a good idea to go ahead and write it out and make sure that you distribute. So that's going to be 12x cubed minus, it's like 12x squared. And these cannot be subtracted. A lot of people are going to think they're going to get an x out of that. You cannot subtract polynomials or expressions that have different exponents. Anyway, there we are. Let's see if it gives us, yep, gave us all the possibilities. So we've got 12x cubed minus 12x squared, and that's it. Okay, and again, I'm going to put the negative 2x on the outside, and I'm going to multiply it by x squared plus 3x. You need to make sure that you multiply both terms. That's going to give you negative 2x cubed. Notice I have x times x squared. That's x times x times x. Minus 6, x times x is x squared. Just make sure you get them all in there. Minus 2x cubed minus 6x squared. And it looks right. I like to double check because I was having trouble with the negatives. Sometimes it covers it up. All right, we've got a negative x squared. I'm just going to put it up here this time. X squared times 5x plus 2. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply it just straight in. That's going to give me negative 5x cubed, isn't it? And then I'm going to get a minus 2x squared. And that's it. I just took the minus x squared times both parts. Same thing here. We have 3x. Nice thing is we're just doing one thing this time, 3x squared minus 2x. And again, I'm just going to multiply times both terms. That's going to give you, be careful, it's a minus 9, isn't it? Not 6. 9x cubed. And then we have a minus 6. Now we get the minus 6. Minus 6x squared. Looks like that's it. And we've got a, can you guys see that I'm just going to multiply this times both terms? So that's going to give me, I'm simplifying it more and more as I go, 12x cubed. Then I get a plus 4x squared, don't I? Nothing like getting lazier and lazier as I go. Same thing here. I'm going to multiply this times both terms. That's going to give me 12x cubed. And then I'm going to have plus 12x squared. This one is going to give me 15x cubed minus 15x. This one is going to be minus 6x cubed. And then we have a plus 2x squared. And we've got a 2x cubed. I'm just multiplying this times each term, minus 8x, and that's it. This one, we get a negative times each term. They're both going to turn out negative. We have a negative 3x squared, and we have a minus 2x. Uh-oh, now you've got binomials getting multiplied together. Now, I'm going to go ahead and explain this in a slightly different way than you may have seen. Now, most of you are familiar with FOIL, which is you multiply the first term, you multiply the outer terms, you multiply the inner terms, yada, 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 multiply the last terms. So the first terms, and I'm going to go ahead and write it like this, F. I'm going to multiply the first term times the first term. We call these binomials. And when you multiply binomials, you need to make sure you multiply every term by every other term. And there's many, many ways to do that. Some people like to do the tic-tac-toe. Some people, however you do it, you need to make sure everything gets multiplied by everything else. One way to do that is with the acronym FOIL. That is 20x squared. Man, I imagine you can hear that in the background, sorry. That is going to be the outer terms. This is the first terms. The outer terms are going to be 2 times negative 5x. And my inner terms are going to be 5 times negative 4x, which is minus 20x when I multiply the inner terms. And then I multiply the last terms, which is plus 10. And that's the acronym. And we're going to add the terms in the middle. Generally, these pretty much always end up being like terms that you can add together. So I have 20x squared minus 30x plus 10. And I think I'll just leave it at that. Just have to make sure that everything gets multiplied by everything else. This is probably the most common acronym or method that you'll see. So we've got 20x squared. We've got a minus 30x. And we've got a plus 10. And shall I do it one more time? I'll do it one more time just to make sure that you got it, x plus 2. And you probably should write it down yourself. Again, order doesn't matter because we're talking about multiplication. A times B is the same as B times A. Or in this case, F times G is the same as G times F. So we're going to multiply the firsts. That is going to give us 3x squared. Then we're going to multiply the outer terms, which is plus 1x, the inner terms, which is plus 6x, and the last terms, which is plus 2. And that is a 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. Now, one thing that I'm going to tell you is that you're going to do this until you can do it in your head and eliminate this step. At first, you're going to want to write it all out, but eventually you're going to want to get to the point where you see the shortcut for yourself. It is essential for the second part of algebra to be able to go from here directly to here. Very important. So do your practice and you'll be able to be successful at that. 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. There we go. Can you do it in your head? Well, let's see. I have my first terms, which is 10x squared. Now my middle terms are going to be 2x and 10x, which is going to be 12x, isn't it? And then my last terms is plus 2. Did you see what I did there? Try it yourself. 10x squared plus 12x plus 2. Shall we try it again? It's a negative times a negative, which is a positive 4x squared. Look at your middle terms, minus 3x and minus 4x. That's minus 7x. And then we have a plus 3, sorry. There we go. Actually have to multiply correctly. That's a plus. Jeez. Keep messing that up. All right, so 4, I said x squared, I said 4x squared minus 7x plus 3. Yep. For those of you who want to, you can write it all out. I'm going to multiply my first, which is 2x squared, minus 2x minus 8x, minus 12x, which is minus 14x, plus 12. Looks like we're getting there. Oh, nice. We get a trinomial this time. Trinomial means it has 3 terms, and we're going to multiply that by a monomial. So the x squared is going to get multiplied by each of the terms. Remember, the trick for multiplying polynomials is that every term needs to be multiplied by every other term. And this is always the case. So I'm going to multiply the x squared times all 3 terms, and it's going to give me negative x to the 4th, isn't it? Plus 2x to the 3rd minus 1x squared. And we don't usually write the 1. So we have minus 4x to the 4, just x to the 4th, plus 2x to the 3rd minus x squared. Looks like that's right. Oh, nice. Okay, so we have 25x squared. Now the question is, can you do it in your head? We've got 25x squared. Can you see the middle term now? Minus 10x minus 15x is minus 25x. Did you see what I did? I took the minus 15x and the minus 10x and I put them together. And then the plus 6. You really need to practice these so that you can get good at multiplying binomials. It'll really make a difference to you. Can you do it in your head? We get 5x squared. We need to make sure we multiply our middle terms. We've got 15x and 3x, which is 18x. And then we get a plus 9, don't we? Oh, we're going to multiply the minus 4x times all 3 terms. Can you do it in your head? We get a minus 4x to the 3rd, and then we're going to get a plus 12x squared. And then we're going to get a minus 8x. Be sure and try them yourself. And we have one last one to do. And it's a binomial after all. So it looks like we're multiplying 2 binomials together. See if you can do it yourself. Remember, one more time, it doesn't matter if you do it like this. I personally much prefer stacking. In fact, in China, the kids all learn to stack them. And there's a really good reason for that because it's really easy to see it. Negative x times x is negative x squared. The 5x minus x is 4x plus the 5. And we're done. If you want to write it out like this, more than fair, it'll work. It's just that we want to do it easy. We want the easy way, right? Plus 5. And I hope you guys will get to your 100% and have a nice day. Bye.